How's it going, everyone? Jiraiya Gaming here. Welcome back to episode number 71 of my Jiraiya's Topic Wednesdays. And of course, this week, guys, I have a bit of a controversial topic that I want to talk about. Some of you guys may have been may have gotten brought to your attention, which is, of course, took place on Saturday, where a little boy fell into a zoo area for, of course, gorillas. And a silverback gorilla at that too as well, which we know are very aggressive, very territorial, and most of these guys are very very powerful creatures. I mean, they are very dominant creatures, in my opinion. So are dominant animals, to put it that way. So this little boy fell into, of course, this little terrain, or this little area where this gorilla is at. People are shouting, which alerted the gorilla, from what I've heard and looking into this story. And of course, you can see there's plenty of videos on the web now as well. I'll try to link some of those in the description, and I'll try to put some in the video as well. If they're not, then it's obviously because I don't want to get a copy strike against me or anything like that. But with that said, you can see where the gorilla was dragging this little boy around like he was a rock doll, while he was in a little water area. Even in that little sense and that little sequence there where the little boy is being dragged, you can see just how dangerous it was for the little boy, because had his head hit, just a little wall or something there, it could be brain damage. I know a lot of people were saying that the gorilla looked as if he was trying to protect the little boy, and that indeed could have been the case as well. But just the simple fact that how, this gorilla in general was 450 pounds. So just in case you don't understand, that's a lot of raw power that comes in a gorilla. You can just see the power of the gorilla just by the way he was dragging that little boy as if it was nothing. So just imagine if the gorilla was indeed just playing with this little boy and just dragged him the wrong way, he dragged him too hard and hit him up against a wall or something, his head hit the wall, and he gets brain damage and die from it. These are the things that are going through all of these officials that are there at the zoo, which therefore they had to come up with, of course, the plan to take out the gorilla. Unfortunately, I'm sure that's the last resort that they wanted to do, and then they also didn't want to use a tranquilizer, which would have caused probably more problems too as well, or probably make the gorilla even more aggressive. So there's plenty of things that went through these people's mind before they actually proceed with the final decision to take out this gorilla. And there's a lot of people that are outraged, animal lovers as well. And I know it doesn't help the fact that with the fact that those gorillas are actually, endangered species too as well. But the simple fact is, it's a decision that had to be made. It was made, and it was only made because of the fact that the little boy was in danger. The little boy was endangered the moment he fell into that little area where those gorillas were, until the moment he got taken out. It's as simple as that. I mean, you cannot take a chance when it comes to gorillas, and just the fact that they're so territorial, so aggressive, and such a dominant, animal in general. So, I just don't see how people can't take these things into concept. And I think if there's anyone that needs to be blamed for this, it definitely doesn't need to be the people at the zoo or the zoo itself. I think in general, it should be the parent. That is bad parenting, in my opinion. That is really bad parenting, in my opinion. And in fact, I think for the fact that they had to go ahead and kill the gorilla, I think the parent should be fined, and they should have to pay some kind of fee to compensate the zoo for doing what they had to do, for taking out the silverback gorilla. That's just how I feel. Maybe this may seem a bit harsh to you guys, but I just think it's the truth. If you go somewhere with your kids, shouldn't you be watching over your kids? It's not the zoos and the zoo employees, job to be watching over your kids. It's not. It's definitely not. So I don't see how people seem to deflect this whole, and there's people that think that the parents should be blamed and so forth, etc. And I side with those people. I think the parents should be blamed for this one. And I think they should be fined. They should be fined for it. Because had you been taking care of your kid and watching over your kid, this wouldn't have happened. The kid wouldn't have snuck into this little thing, fell in there, almost got killed, dropping 15 feet, I believe it was. How did that kid didn't get injured just from that fall is beyond me. And then almost, getting hurt by a gorilla. I mean, the outcome could have been so much worse, man. I mean, when you have experts telling you what the body language was for the gorilla and how it could have just gone so much worse, it just shows you how difficult of a situation it was and decision that the zoo had to make. I mean, this is a zoo, you know, they're making money off of these animals, but at the same time, they're there to also protect the animals too as well. And the fact that these animals are endangered too as well, you know, definitely didn't make the situation any easier for them, or the decision in general easier for the zoo as well. And I'm not just out to defend the zoo, but I think in this situation, we cannot blame the zoo. If anybody needs to be blamed, it has to be the parents or the parent of this child. And you can hear in the background in one of the videos, "Mommy loves you," you know, mommy's here. And I'm like, where were you before the kid fell in there? I mean, what were you doing? Were you on your phone texting or whatever it was? And I don't want to come off too harsh on the parent as well for whatever she was doing. But in my opinion, she should have been paying attention to her child. You take a child to the zoo, you should be paying attention to them 24/7. I mean, turn your damn phone off or your computer, or whatever the fuck you may be on. If you're there with someone, make sure you're holding your kid's hand or whatever the case may be. You should be paying attention to your child. It's not the zoo's responsibility or the employees there at the zoo to be trying to protect and watch your child. Apart from when, if you're in an area where they're supposed to be, you know, taking charge of, then that's a different story. But apart from that, it's not their job. So it irritates me hearing people talk about it as if the zoo is at fault here. The zoo is not at fault. They had to do what they did to make sure the little boy's life wasn't in danger anymore. And like I said, in my opinion, the little boy's life was in danger the moment he fell into that little area, until the moment gorilla taken out. And it's just really sad. And in my opinion, I just feel like people need to sit back, take a breather, and look at the real problem here. The real problem is the parent negligence led to the zoo having to take out this gorilla. And in my opinion, I think the zoo should get compensated for, of course, that gorilla being taken out, or them having to take that gorilla out by the negligence of a parent. That's just plain blank, and that's just the way I see it. Now, this happened in Cincinnati. You know, Cincinnati police are investigating now the event that led to the shooting of the gorilla at the zoo, and they're also the family of the boy who entered the Cincinnati gorilla enclosed last week. They are, of course, investigating them too as well, which I think they should. And the boy was 3 years old, just in case you guys are wondering. So it was a young little boy. I mean, just the simplest of little hits on his head, or, you know, certain places could cause some serious, you know, broken bones and, you know, head trauma. That could be very deadly. I mean, if you see that video, you see how easy it was for the gorilla to just drag the boy around. I mean, you're talking about 450 pounds here. I mean, that is just crazy. And this old thing took 10 minutes. The encounter, 10 minutes. Which was 10 minutes too long in my opinion, but it just shows you how those zoo officials, they had to take their time as to what drastic measures they had to take, and they had to take it. Another boy was being dragged around like a rock dog, not once, but, you know, he was being dragged a couple of times by the gorilla. And it was just a moment of time before, you know, or just something snapped for the gorilla to just snap and just start going in on that little boy, and it would have been a different story. People would have been singing a different song. So, in my opinion, all day, I'm going to blame the parents. Their negligence led to the zoo having to take the decision that they did, and therefore they should be fined. You know, should it be jail? No, I don't think they should be jail. But at the end of the day, it's their negligence. It's their fault, in my opinion, because you should have been taking better care of your child. That shouldn't have happened. So they should pay the fine for, you know, I don't know what the fine would be or what they wanted to charge them, but they should pay some fine or compensation for it. That's just the way I see it. Let me know your thoughts and opinion, guys. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. And of course, guys, as always, I'm your host, Jiraiya Gaming. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Peace.